Well, what a weekend it's been. We all know the headlines of that. And then two matches tonight with huge importance. The leaders, Arsenal, 4-0, beating third from bottom Everton at the Emirates. They are 5 clear, and Liverpool knew they had to win, particularly these games at Anfield, and they've done that in the second half by remaining patient by those 2-0 against Wolves. Well, only an unlikely win would have taken Everton out of the drop zone tonight, so they stay in there, a point from safety, but perhaps crucially, they have played a game more than all of those teams around them, bar Wolves and Nottingham Forest, who are 4 points clear of them in 13th, are their next opponents on Sunday at the City Ground. But that's the screenshot the Arsenal supporters wanted tonight. 25 played, 19 won, only 3 lost, and they are 5 clear of Manchester City now, having played the same number of games. 13 games to go though, still plenty of potential twists and turns in this fascinating season.
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.
Mikel, that was pretty emphatic. Your grin says a lot. You must be delighted with that second half performance in particular.
I'm delighted with the win, with the way we played after the first 25 minutes, which I think in the first period we have some difficulties. Obviously, they are really physical, they are really well organized, to be fair, and they are really difficult to play through. You look at the games, the goals they have conceded, they weren't when they are in the deep block, but once we scored the first goal, I think the game unlocked. We started to get much better rhythm, attack much better spaces, much better organization as well, to don't allow them to run, and we deserve to win the game. Yeah,
patience did prove to be key, didn't it, tonight? That first 40 minutes until you got the breakthrough goal, it was not a mad 5 minutes before half-time, but the game completely broke open in that 5 minutes. But until then, as you say, Everton very organised, and you had to bide your time and wait for your chance.
And what Sean and the coaching staff do defensively is extremely good. There's a lot of things to learn from the discipline that they have, the organisation they have, how they help each other in certain areas of the pitch. Really, really good, to be fair. But we needed a magic moment, and Bukayo produced that with Alex to the first goal. And after that, I think we grow and grow on the game, and we deserve to win the game.
Yeah, the second goal, a big moment as well, right on half-time, giving you that little bit of elbow room at 2-0 after the VAR call.
Yes, and especially with them, the way they play and how good they are on direct play, second balls, producing set pieces. A short score is not enough because they can get in the game straight away. But I think we played really well the second half, and we could have scored more.
Yeah, can you enjoy a second half performance like that in the moment, in real time, or are you so focused on the touchline that it almost passes you by?
No, I am obviously delighted when I see the team play the way we want to play, and scoring goals and creating chance after chance. But you're doing that as well. You want to recognize certain players and give them minutes. You want to maintain the level and score more if possible. You are thinking as well, okay, how do I rest certain players for Saturday? So it's a lot in your mind.
Do you see the team effectively growing in many ways, almost week by week, in dealing with these situations, dealing with the pressure, finding ways to win, performing well in this sort of situation? Because obviously your team are the favourites to win tonight, but you still have to go out there and do it.
Yeah, and this league, that's a different story, and we had a big proof of that when we played at Goodison. And this team played at Anfield, and they made it really difficult for Liverpool as well. So we knew that, so really pleased with the performance, the maturity and the quality that we showed today.
Well, we said at the start of the night, Michael, that Arsenal might have to be patient. They certainly didn't hit all cylinders in the first 40 minutes, did they?
No, they didn't. No, that's fair to say, Steve. I wouldn't say desperation, but they were starting to cross balls high into the box. I'm sure that wasn't in Mikel Arteta's game plan, but as soon as they started passing the ball and keeping it on the ground, they prized Everton open at the first real proper attempt, I think. And then once they did that, it was all over. I mean, they ran riot and went 4-0 up eventually and 4-0 winners. Really interesting goal. I thought it was the pick of the bunch as well, this first goal, Leon. And you spotted something early on in the piece as well with the defensive setup.
I did. Just the fact that, highlight Michael Keane here, because, you spoke before the game about the importance of the opposition just keeping their back four in line and not allowing somebody just to drift into the space. And just in this moment, Michael Keane just gets attracted into that position, and in doing so, he opens up that gap. If Arsenal could have figured out a way of getting in there, I'm sure they would, but Martinelli shows really good patience in moving across, drifting this ball across into the wide area. And once Michael Keane gets back, him and James Tarkowski in this moment have swapped positions, and suddenly James Tarkowski, which he has a natural tendency to do, he covers in behind Mikalenko really, really well. And once Michael Keane gets into that position, he doesn't do that as effectively, and Arsenal took full advantage of that.
Yeah, and I love the way that this then finished in terms of Sacco. You can see his hands, he's asking for the ball, he's wanting it in this situation, he's fully aware of everything that's around him. Mikalenko's on the wrong side of him, but he knows that he's his biggest danger, and I love the way he turns. He uses his body to get between the ball and the man, and then the finish is exquisite with his right foot.
And just how good was that finish from Bukayo Saka?
Absolutely brilliant. As Michael said, the awareness of him positionally, the awareness of him spotting that Martinelli had come into a wide position, taking up a position himself in between a full-back and a centre-half, having himself on the half-turn, and then taking the ball on the back foot, scooping it around with him so that Mikalenko had no way of even attempting to win the ball back. And from there, a couple of options to finish. He went for power, and power was the right choice. It gave the goalkeeper no chance. And Arsenal had not necessarily struggled up to that point, but hadn't been the smooth system that we'd known. But goals change games. Players score wonderful goals, and that was a brilliant opener.
Yeah, and that then gave them the confidence to go on to score 4 goals eventually. This is the second goal, Steve, and it came from out wide, out on the left-hand side eventually. And it was the goal really that killed the game. Sorry, it came from the right-hand side, and it was Saka again that was instrumental in it with his closing down. And the offside decision is quite interesting actually, because the man is just in front of the ball, but a man in front of the man actually, but he's not in front of the ball, so that's why it was onside, and a lovely finish from Martinelli.
So just for quickly referencing that first goal, finish into words for me.
Well, right foot into the top near top corner. It was a lovely finish. He went for power. It was probably the only part of the goal actually that was impossible to save. So lovely finish.
High praise from a Golden Boot winner. Do you not think, Bukayo?
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
How important was that goal at that time?
Yeah, it was vital because, like you said, it was really difficult first 30-40 minutes, trying to get the breakthrough, and they were defending so well. So yeah, to take that chance and then get another one with Gabby to put us 2-0 up was really good for us going in at half time.
And what's your version of that finish? You didn't have much of the goal to aim at.
No, I didn't. I just went, like you said, I went for power and high, because obviously from that distance, I think that's the best option, and yeah, it worked this time.
Bukayo, brilliant finish. I just want to ask you about the first touch and your body position actually to get you into that position. Were you aware that Mikalenko was probably your danger and you had to protect the ball with your body, taking the touch like that?
Yeah, definitely. I knew obviously he was on my side, and if I could turn away from him in a position where he could only touch me, if he touched me, it would be a penalty. So, I knew that I was past him and I had time to set myself, and obviously it's my right foot, so I need extra yard to set myself and get the finish away.
Okay, how confident are you as a team? Because as you just mentioned, Everton frustrated you for 40 minutes, but when you look around the pitch and see who's playing alongside you, there are real moments of quality and ability that you can all call upon at any moment. It was you that scored the opening goal tonight, but how much confidence does it give you looking around and see what's on the pitch?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of confidence in my team. We've been in this situation many times this season, and we know, in situations like this, we have to just keep trying. Look at, for example, in this case, it's our left back popping up in this position, giving me a through ball. So everywhere you look in this team, there's quality, and yeah, I can really feel confident in this team.
And you're smiling. It looks like the whole team at the moment are playing with a smile on their face. You can see that in your football, Bukayo.
Yeah, definitely. For me, that's the reason I started football. So yeah, I just have to always enjoy it. Otherwise, what's the point?
And how important was that second half with the goals to get the emphatic scoreline in the end?
Yeah, it was really important, and you could see the confidence we were playing, you know, how it generated with the fans. You know, the fans were buzzing with it, so I think it gives us a big boost, you know, coming back here on Saturday against Bournemouth, you know, that we have the big belief we can do something like this again.
And everyone was talking about your game in hand tonight. You can see the table there. You've won it. You're 5 clear, 13 games to go.
Not much to say about that. We have to just focus on the next one.
We got a laugh out of him as opposed to a smile, so that's enough.
Listen, we enjoyed your performance tonight. Great to speak to you.
Thank you. Good to speak to you too.
Well played.
Thank you, Bukayo.
All right, take care.
That was fascinating to hear about his finish there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great finish. It really was. But, you know, just striking the ball and it going in the top corner, lots of people can do it, but it's how people get into those positions that fascinate me. Because if you do the wrong thing in the lead up to that goal, you don't even get the chance in the first place. You get tackled or whatever, but his first touch, his second touch, almost in one movement, then set up the chance. It was a lovely strike.
Mikel Arteta really pleased. Let's go back to the Emirates. Arsenal and former Everton and Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell's been with us all evening. Kevin, you were saying there they had to be patient on 40 minutes. Did you get that feeling inside the stadium?
Yeah, I did. I've got to say, I think Everton frustrated Arsenal quite a bit. The way they were doubling up on the wide players, weren't letting Bukayo Saka get out. I think there had to be a little rethink. You saw Martinelli move off the left-hand side and join Saka on the right-hand side. There had to be a bit more movement, Saka coming off the line and moving inside, and it made it a little bit more difficult for Everton. And the key is the first goal. You've got to get the opportunity, you've got to put it away, and Bukayo Saka, you know, this young man's so impressive, the way he puts it away. He scored a goal similar to this against Leeds, where he gets in down the right-hand side and finishes it high, and that really did unlock Everton. But for Everton, you know, you've got to, even if you do concede, you've got to try and get to half-time at 1-0. You never know what could happen if you could keep things tight, and they couldn't keep it out. They got caught, you know, by slack play, going at 2-0, and really the game's over.
Yeah, how frustrating was it for, I mean, the fans in the stadium, you know, the Arsenal fans were really patient. The Everton fans must have been really frustrated, you know, conceding that second goal in the manner that they did right before half-time.
Ozzy's a killer. It really is a killer. I think the Everton fans were quite fine at 1-0, even though it was disappointing. Going at half-time and you know, rejig and sort yourselves out, and then, you know, try and push for an equaliser. But to concede the way they did, you know, it was a poor goal to give away. It just makes life so much more difficult. And I'm sure Sean Dyche, he was trying to bring players on to try and get them going. But I think in the end, second half, Arsenal just ran the legs off them.
Kevin, you know what it feels like to win a league title in that Arsenal shirt. Do you get the sense around the place that this team is good enough and have got the confidence and the belief to go on and do it this year?
I'll be honest with you, Michael, I think the team do have enough quality. They do have that tenacity. The big question is, are they a little bit too young? You know, it's the second youngest team in the league, Southampton at the bottom. You know, Arsenal are top. You're going against a juggernaut as Man City. We all know Manchester City could push on. They've got the quality players to go on a run. Arsenal seem to be in a good position right now, and we try and take it one game at a time. But you look at the next 5 or 4 games, this was one of them, and you say to yourself, you know, Arsenal have a really big chance. 4 of those 5 games are at the Emirates, so you really got to fancy them to get maximum points if they can and put a lot of pressure on Man City.
Yeah, and Kev, let me take you back to when you won the league. We're into March now, of course. That season, Arsenal were unbeaten between March and May. This is the business end of the season now where you have to hold your nerve?
100%. I think once you get down to 10 games or single digits, that's when the pressure's on, everything counts. It kind of feels like it counts double. So getting there with maximum points, I think eating into that goal difference as well was important tonight. Bournemouth next. At the weekend, you look at Arsenal, you're going to say to yourself, Arsenal need to push on and score goals, got to win that game and then put real pressure on Manchester City.
Kevin, we just spoke about Arsenal and holding their nerve in the run that they have and what they're trying to achieve this season. We know what Everton are trying to achieve this season. Are you starting to be concerned that they won't be able to stay in the Premier League with the results they're having and the performances we're starting to see?
Ozzy, if I'm honest, I was worried because, in the transfer window, they didn't bring anybody in, didn't bring another striker in to help Dominic Calvert-Lewin, to help Neil Maupay. Ellis Sims is there. I think you've got to use him. You have to use him because they just don't look like they're going to score. And, depending on defenders to score you goals to win games is not good for the football club. So you've got to find a way, and I think they've got to try Ellis Sims and maybe Neil Maupay up there, as a tandem, because you have to be able to beat teams.
Yeah, and Kev,
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.